Good morning students. Today we will discuss about Civics Chapter 1 on Equality. At first, government. What do you mean by government? A government is an institution or a system made of a group of people that takes care or manages a country or a state. So government means a government is an institution or a system made of a group of people that takes care or manages a country or a state. Moving on to understand democracy. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. In democracy, people enjoy several rights. Today, democracy is not only the form of government but also a way of life. It applied even in economic and social life. Simply, we can say democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Moving on to understand key elements of a democratic government. Let us discuss about the key elements. All people are equal. Justice to all. Opportunities for equal education to all. Abolition of discrimination. Equal status to all religion. Abolition of untouchability are the key elements of a democratic government. Let us discuss about universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means a right to vote. It means all adult citizens have the right to vote. Here, adult means who have attained the age of 18 years and above. In a democratic country like India, all adults, irrespective of what religion they belong to, how much education they have had, what caste they are, or whether they are rich or poor, are given the right to vote, which is called universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means right to vote. Let us discuss about equality. Equality means the fact of being equal or equal to all. Students, equality is the soul of Indian democracy. It influences all aspects of its functioning. Every person is equal before the law. What this means is that every person, from the President of India to a domestic worker like Kanda, has to obey the same laws. No persons can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, caste, race, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops, and markets. All persons can use publicly available wells, roads, and bathing ghats. Students, untouchability has been abolished. Two different kinds of inequalities that exist in our country are inequalities based on the caste system and that based on the religion. Moving on to understand Kanda. Kanda is a poor domestic worker. She lives in a slum which is very filthy. Her daughter is sick but she cannot skip work because she needs to borrow money from her employer to take her daughter to the doctor. Her job as a domestic help is not a permanent. She can be removed by her employer anytime. Student, Kanda is a poor domestic worker. She has the right to vote, but daily living and working conditions are far from equal. Let us discuss about Om Prakash Valmiki and answers. Om Prakash Valmiki was a famous Dalit writer. His autobiography was known as Jutan. He was treated extremely unequally because he was a Dalit. His headmaster tortured him greatly. He made him sweep the school and the playground. While other children in his class were studying, he was sweeping. This was very much insulting for him. The answers were also exploited people. They were not given a flat by the landlady simply because they belonged to other religion. Both Om Prakash Valmiki and the answers are badly treated. Their dignity is hurt. Students, what do you mean by dignity? Thinking of oneself and other persons as worthy of respect. Dignity means thinking of oneself and other persons as worthy of respect. The Indian Constitution recognizes every person as equal. Every person is equal before law. No person can be discriminated on the basis of their religion, race, caste, place of birth, etc. There are two ways in which the government has tried to implement the equality: through laws, through government programs or schemes to help unprivileged groups. These schemes ensure the opportunities for people. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar viewed self-respect as the most important factor in life. Moving on to understand Midday Meal Scheme. Midday Meal Scheme is a school meal program of the Government of India. Midday Meal Scheme is one of the steps taken by the government to promote equality. Under Midday Meal Scheme, all government elementary schools provide children with cooked food. The midday meal program has reduced social differences between communities. The meals are served to all children at the same time and they have to eat the meals together. In many places, Dalit women have been employed to cook and serve meals. This scheme has helped to increase school enrollment and attendance of poor children in school. The another step taken by the government was the Right to Education Act 2009. This act provides equal opportunities to the disadvantaged groups in the society. Let us discuss about issues of equality in other democracies. India is not only the country where there is inequality. There are many democratic countries around the world where the issues of equality continues to be the key issue around which communities struggle. In the United States of America, the African Americans whose ancestors were the slaves who were brought over from Africa. They were considered to be social inferiors. In the late 1950s, there took place a movement known as Civil Rights Movement for equal rights for African Americans. Rosa Parks became the leader of this movement. Rosa Parks was an African American woman. Moving on to understand Civil Rights Act 1964. The Civil Rights Act was passed in the year 1964. The Act prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. It also stated that all schools would be open to African American children and that they would no longer have to attend separate schools specially set up for them. However, a majority of African Americans continue to be among the poorest in the country. Let us recall the important terms. At first, universal adult franchise. It means that all adult citizens have the right to vote irrespective of their social or economic backgrounds. Here, adult means those who have attained the age of 18 years and above. Next, Dalit. Dalit means broken. After that, dignity. Thinking of oneself and other persons as worthy of respect. Next, Constitution, a document that lays down the basic rules and regulations for people and the government in the country to follow. After that, Civil Rights Movement. This movement took place in USA in 1950s, in which the African Americans demanded equal rights and an end to racial discrimination. Next, equality. Equality means the fact of being equal or equal to all. Equality is the soul of Indian democracy. It influences all aspects of its functioning. Every person is equal before the law. What this means is that every person from the President of India to a domestic worker like Kanda has to obey the same laws. No person can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, caste, race, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops, and markets. All persons can use publicly available wells, roads, and bathing ghats. Untouchability has been abolished. Thank you.